Hello, it is Throwback Thursday, June 21st, 2018, first day of summer, the longest day of the year, and I've waited until just about the end of it to come outside here on my terrace, outside my office, as the sun is really about to set. We're about to lose the sun, but I figured longest day of the year, let's wait as long as I possibly can to still have daylight and record my Facebook Live video. And Throwback Thursday, and I just noticed also, check this out, the moon, there it is, the moon is even out. Anyway, so I have fond memories all this week of my 2 years that I spent in Joe Polish's Genius Network 25K Mastermind Group. The members colloquially nicknamed it that because we had to pony up 25 grand a piece up front just to get into the group and hang out for a year of several meetings with dozens of entrepreneurs, including the annual event with hundreds of just the sharpest entrepreneurs on the planet. And I mean names that you would all know, and behind the scenes people, and then lots of people you wouldn't know that are doing all kinds of great things, top innovators in the world, people that are making money hand over fist, people that are helping other entrepreneurs, genius marketers, really just a great group to hang around. And then it just so happens this week that I got an email from a friend of mine, Jason Fladlin, that his book, One to Many, The Secret to Successful Webinars, just came out, and you ought to go get it on Amazon. And so I contacted him right away and said, hey, can I interview you for the Rhino Daily Podcast and the cover of my Rhino Monthly magazine? Hey, Ben is here, and thanks for the likes. And he was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we did that interview. The days are flying by. I think it was yesterday, the day before, and then today, I interviewed another friend of mine, Nick Nanton, who was also Jason. I met at his first ever Genius Network Mastermind event. Nick I knew before then. And we both came in at the same time to the Genius Network, and Nick I saw on TV last week. There he was on TV with one of his documentaries, Canines for Warriors. I think that's what it's called. It's all about getting service dogs to veterans and, giving them some comfort and all that kind of stuff. There he was being interviewed on TV. I'm like, hey, honey, that's Nick. And so I immediately had to contact him and say, saw you on TV, and I would love to interview you for the Rhino Daily Podcast and for the cover of my Rhino Monthly magazine. And Nick, of course, said yes, and we did that today. So here I am getting inundated. And also on Monday, I shared on Direct Mail Monday, Joe Polish's big red envelope landed in my mailbox, which was a 12-page sales letter written by the aforementioned Jason Fladlin, who wrote it to invite past members of the 25K group to attend this year's annual event that's coming up in a few months right here in Phoenix. And so I got the Joe Polish, Jason Fladlin big red envelope on Monday. Then I interviewed Jason, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday. I interviewed Nick Nanton today on Thursday. Just inundated here with the Genius Network, brought back the memories, and I had to pull out my old Genius Network t-shirt. So how about that? Still fits for the Throwback Thursday. My old Genius Network t-shirt. It's the least we could get for the 50 grand for the I paid 50 grand to be in that group for 2 years, and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. No, got a heck of a lot more than that. Made a ton of money from it. Met a lot of great friends. And yeah, they all got me thinking, maybe I got to go rejoin and get back in there. So my question for you, and some other people are here. Steve is here, great seeing you. Wally, Ben, I have hosted mastermind groups through the years and mastermind events, hundreds and hundreds of them. I now meet with my clients 3 times a year. We're coming up in September. Will be our second one of this year, back up in Chicago, where I lived for about 15 years. And there's nothing better than hanging out with a group of sharp entrepreneurs. One of my mentors, Bill Glazer, is fond of saying the entrepreneur is the loneliest job in the world. It's the loneliest person on earth, because there we are. No matter how many employees you have, you're still the one entrepreneur at the helm. So you got to hang out with other sharp entrepreneurs all you can. I spoke on the phone today with several. Facebook messages, email, any way I can get a hold of people. And of course, I interviewed Nick for my magazine, and so and I made plans to go see entrepreneurs and hang out and have entrepreneurs coming here. And I just got invited to speak at an entrepreneur event that I'll be doing in July. And got invited to another one yesterday that'll be happening. It's a lunch next Tuesday, and I'll be meeting a really sharp entrepreneur that I've only spoken to on the phone, and he's not from here. He's flying in to be at this event, so of course I'm going to go there. It'll take a little while and be a little trouble to get to Phoenix, but not anywhere near the time and the trouble and expense it's taken him to get here from Florida. And so I will go meet him and hang out and have lunch. It'll be great. And so I just got to ask you, dear listener, who are you hanging out with? Jim Rohn's famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around most. So you got to be real careful who you're hanging out with. That'll tend to be family, people that really are not where you want to be. Of course, you love them, but they don't know all about business, so they're not someone you can really confide to and talk about the ups and the downs. Maybe you can talk about the ups, but there are ups and downs in the life of the entrepreneur, right? So you can't talk about all the ups and the downs with your family. That's not really fair to them. I mean, you want to clue them in, but to look for help, you want to look for help from people that have gone through similar situations or going through similar situations. You want to get ideas. You'll really, the quickest, easiest way I know, and that I've helped people do to lead your industry and destroy your competition, not that you want to destroy people, but it is business, is to bring something into your industry from outside your industry. So none of your competitors have even ever heard of it or seen it. And that's why it's real important to hang around entrepreneurs from all different industries and all different walks of life. And you can be a sponge and always look to grab ideas and think, wow, how could I use that in my business? So you want to hang out, if it's not the Genius Network, because that's 25 grand a year, you want to get around a group of entrepreneurs that that are, I like saying, I like being the dumbest person in the room. So you want to elevate your game. Just like in sports, you want to get better at tennis, you want to play somebody on the other side of the net who's better than you. It'll elevate your game, right? Not like they'll play with you for a long time if they're tons better than you, but it's always nice to be around people that are super sharp, doing all kinds of things. So it's been a motivating week for me, and it gives me a clue that I got to do more of it. I mean, I'm the easiest person to invite into a mastermind group because I love them. I know the value of them. So that's the old saying, a buyer is a buyer, right? I will invest in myself, especially if it means getting around sharp entrepreneurs. So whenever there's a new mastermind cropping up, people say, oh, contact Steve, he loves mastermind. Sure, because I make money every time I invest in myself to join one. And that includes all the time and the hotels and the airfare and then the ante to get in the room that you pay to the host. But people that know what they're doing in mastermind groups are always putting together deals and working together and finding a way they can do stuff and work with each other, and everyone makes money from it. So I highly recommend, even if it isn't the Genius Network, that you get your butt into, not even just one, into a number of highly functioning mastermind groups, organized mastermind groups, where you got to pay money, you got to have skin in the game. Without that skin in the game, what's the saying? If someone doesn't pay, they don't pay attention. So it's not this informal, oh, we meet for lunch once a month type of thing where people don't show up and they're not on their A game, and you can't get A game people to do that. You're not getting me there, or anyone in the Genius Network is not showing up to some free lunch at Starbucks once a month or something. So get in a group of highly functioning entrepreneurs with a great host who really knows what he's doing, he or she, to host that mastermind. And you got to guard. I know from running hundreds of mastermind meetings, it's my responsibility to the people in the group to guard who's allowed into the room. And I have made mistakes through the years and brought in people that are not right. And it's like one what do they say? One poison apple poisons the whole batch, or something like that. So get in with an experienced, competent, excellent host of a mastermind group, because that'll also draw great members of the group, and that'll elevate your game and elevate your life. And as Jason says, it's a lot more than just about all the money he's made from being in the Genius Network. It's better lifestyle, less stress, better health. I mean, you can't help it but want to be more like the people that you're hanging around, like Jim Rohn said. So that's Throwback Thursday for me, my memories of those 2 years in the Genius Network, where I was living in Chicago at the time, and the meetings are down here in Phoenix and Tempe, Arizona, and I was flying down in hotel rooms and whatever. And now that I live down here, like, I really ought to get back in there and get around some sharp entrepreneurs. I'm sure there's some old friends that are in there from the years ago when I was there, but I'll meet all kinds of new people and just get invigorated being around them. So I highly suggest you do it too. Hey, thanks for all the likes. Damien Zamora is here. Great seeing you, Damien. And Damien is a member of, speaking of a great mastermind group, Yannick Silver's Maverick. What's it called? The Maverick 100, the Maverick 1000, the Maverick Group Club. You know, I remember, again, you know, of course, Yannick talked to me about that when he was first putting it together. And I was like, yeah, you know, if I was 20 years younger, I'd be in there, Yannick. But, like, those guys do all kinds of adventurous, fun things, like dune buggies all over the place and jumping out of airplanes and, you know, swimming with the sharks. I mean, all kinds of crazy activities that I'm like, I just don't do anymore. However, the people in there, I know some of the people, Damien's one of them, Maverick 1000, there you go, is, I mean, and since it's run by Yannick, see, it meets all the criteria. You got fantastic people in it, it's run by a fantastic entrepreneur, and they do all kinds of fantastic activities, and so I highly recommend you look that one up too. Who else is here? Man, I can't even scroll back through everybody, but that's it for Throwback Thursday. And as the sun sets into the west over the mountains on the longest day of the year, I hope you, still a few hours left, are having a fantastic summer solstice. I will be back tomorrow on Foundation Friday. That's the day you advanced people can skip, because I always just talk about a very basic business building strategy or tip or tactic, but it's something very basic. It's foundational to your business, something you ought to be doing. And I'll be talking about that tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Up now I see Damien is saying, you know, it's the mastermind, you support great causes, epic adventures. There it is, the Maverick 1000. And so maybe you can even put a link into it there, or people can see Damien and you can contact Damien and he'll let you know all about it. I was just at an event speaking to Bill Glazer a couple of weeks ago, and I let Damien know that Yannick was one of the speakers there, but he couldn't be there in person, so he was coming in on the screen remotely by satellite or whatever. And when he talked about his Maverick group, he threw up, because it was like 10 rules for entrepreneurs or something, when he talked about his Mastermind Maverick group, actually threw up a picture of my good friend Damien Zamora and his beautiful wife Nikki, which, as I told you, Damien, I'm pretty sure that's why he put the photo up. But in all seriousness, he said Damien is the living embodiment of the spirit of that Maverick group. And knowing Damien like I do, not only is that a great compliment to Damien, but it's absolutely true. And if you know Damien, that tells you all you need to know about that Maverick group, and that it is a must for people that are into that kind of stuff, into hanging around with great entrepreneurs and having some great adventures. I mean, that is the #1 group for that. And I could go on and on about mastermind groups because I love them. Again, as long as it's got a great host, I'm in favor of all of them, and I highly suggest you get into several of them, not just say, oh, I'm in a mastermind group. Whoop-de-doo. That's like saying, you know, ooh, I have a shirt. I don't need a Genius Network t-shirt. I have a t-shirt. Like, just one? Let's stop being ridiculous. Like, why would you want just one of something good? So getting as many as, you know, don't get in so many that you don't have time to actually work. You don't want to be going to a mastermind meeting every day. Although I do have a client who travels so much and goes to so many events that he is seldom home, but he is phenomenally great at making connections and making deals and making money and making friends everywhere he goes. So he actually does attend tons of them. So if that's you and you're into being a road warrior, then join a ton of them. Otherwise, at least join 1 or 2 or 3 of them. And Jeff is here and Jeremy is here. Just caught the tail end, folks, as the sun sets in the west. I'm signing off for today, but I'll be back tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Hope you guys will watch the replay and post whatever comments you want. I always reply when appropriate. And you can also contact me one-on-one. You can go to stevesipress.com/consultation, in fact, and we'll get on the phone one-on-one, and I'll give you some concrete steps to take to put some money in your pocket in your business. That's guaranteed. I've been doing it for decades, for every conceivable type of business and every conceivable type of situation there is. I love to do it. I love the challenge, and I'm always up to it, guaranteed. That's it for today. Have a fantastic rest of your first day of summer, and I'll catch you tomorrow on Foundation Friday. Over and out. Bye-bye.